Hey there, Dr. Mark here, and in today's video, I'm going to help you become a better nutrition coach by showing you some of the most important things you need to know about nutrition coaching right now. You see, nutrition coaching has been made to seem way more complicated than it is. And that's largely because of big nutrition certifications teaching you information that you can't really apply to people to get results, and the latest apps presenting you with technology that you don't really need to work with clients, and business coaches that want to take all your money with the promise that you'll get more clients, only to realize that you're the client. That said, if you do want to get the best results for your nutrition coaching business, you're going to need to know and understand the strategies I'm going to share with you in this video. So here's my commitment to you. If you watch till the end of this video, you will become a better nutrition coach by understanding how to get better results for your nutrition clients, how to create a streamlined and effective nutrition coaching system, and how to attract new paying clients that are begging to hire you. Let's dive in. Okay, first off, you need to understand what makes nutrition coaching different than the rest of the nutrition field. Generally speaking, a nutrition coach is a nutrition professional that works directly with clients, educating them on what to eat and in most cases to achieve a specific result, like weight loss or improved energy, but hang out for a bit. And I'll give you a full list of how nutrition coaches help their clients and all the results they can achieve, but more on that later. But for now, understand that nutrition coaches do this through time. It's not just one counseling session, see you later. They set a structure to help clients stick to these recommendations, and then they check in frequently to measure what's working and make any changes. This is nutrition coaching's superpower and why it's one of the fastest growing jobs in health and wellness. But what makes nutrition coaching different? Other nutrition professionals have different roles or scopes of practice, as they're commonly called. We have registered dietitians that have university degrees and accreditations that allow them to treat and manage specific medical conditions. And they can tell people exactly what to eat, especially in hospital and clinical settings, which is also different than a nutritionist, which is a nutrition professional with some sort of education or certification that instructs people how to eat. And their education varies, both in how they help people, but also, quite frankly, the evidence through which they operate. But we also have the nutrition coach. And what makes nutrition coaches so different is the delivery. They set a plan and then coaching is baked into the process, meaning there is a pre-decided goal and follow-up until that is achieved. Today we'll talk about how to do that. But first, let's talk about who is best suited to become a nutrition coach. So anyone can become a nutrition coach, but here's what I've learned through working in this field for the last 12 years, both teaching and certifying coaches, and here's what I've noticed. In my own nutrition coach training, the Dr. Mark method, nearly 80% of our students are made up of these two groups. Someone with a personal transformation story that wants to give back and help people through the power of nutrition in the same way that they were helped, or a fitness professional like a personal trainer or a strength coach or even a group fitness instructor. Typically, these people have audiences and clients that already want this service, so it makes sense for everyone for them to offer it. The remaining 20% are typically people in healthcare roles, like nurses, doctors, and rehab professionals. They know and understand the importance of nutrition and finally want to help people in a more proactive way. Some of these coaches will take on 20 to 30 clients, making this their full-time job, or others can do it on the side. And if you have an extra 5 hours per week, you can coach 10 people and make roughly $2,000 extra per month. Now, how do nutrition coaches help people? Here's a non-exhaustive list of all the ways that they can help people, both the payoffs and the results. And feel free to take a moment to pause this and screenshot it, because this list is good for brainstorming and creating content. So here's some of the results that nutrition coaches help their clients with. We have weight loss and fat loss, confidence, healthy habits, sports performance, gym performance, specific events and competition, weight management, building muscle, gaining weight, improved body composition, weight cutting for weight class sports, breaking through plateaus, periods of maintenance, managing hormones, the life cycle including postpartum, peri, and menopause, stamina, energy levels, productivity, sleep and sleep hygiene, mood, libido, mental health and clarity, anxiety around food, decreasing stress, cortisol levels, motivation and goal setting, digestion, improved bowel movements, reduced risk of chronic disease, emotional eating, training while in a calorie deficit, healthier skin, nails and hair, food skills, autonomy, self-image, nutrition education, and relationship with food. I've even had coaches mention to me that they help their clients get stronger bladders. Now, you can break down these points even further, but as you can see, the sky is the limit for how nutrition coaches help their clients, especially given how we eat influences so much about our health. Quick reminder though, nutrition coaches don't diagnose things, they don't treat things or manage medical conditions. You can work with someone that has those, but your recommendation should never be to treat them directly. Another way to think about it is this: nutrition coaches help people in ways that they could do on their own, except much quicker and more effectively. because of the systems, education, and experience. At this point, you may be asking yourself, how do nutrition coaches actually work with people? That's a great question. Let's go through it. How a nutrition coach actually conducts their coaching has a lot to do with their background, experience, and education, but also their personal philosophy around how they want to coach people. If you're sitting there thinking, how should I carry out my coaching? Think of this. Think about how people view you as a coach. Is it no nonsense and straight to the point? Or is it more empathetic and understanding? What types of goals do you want to help people achieve? Is it helping people and athletes compare for competitions? Or helping grandmas run around with their grandkids? Or competitive grandmas compete with their grandkids? Either way, thinking about this tells you more about how you want to conduct your coaching. But here's how most coaches do it. I want to think about it this way. There are more prescriptive ways to do your coaching, like meal plans and even macros. As a nutrition coach, you could tell your clients exactly what to eat, or set a structure to teach them how to eat to reach a specific goal. The former, which is the meal plan route, isn't advisable, namely for a few reasons. Number one, most clients have a hard time sticking to them. Number two, it doesn't really teach your clients about nutrition and what their food is made of. So when they get results, they'll think it's because of the meal plan, not because of the appropriate amount of calories and macronutrients for their individual situation and goals. And number three, lastly, as a nutrition coach, you shouldn't be providing meal plans. If you tell someone exactly what to eat and they do it and run into problems, that's going to be on you. Here's what most coaches do instead. They prescribe food levels or calories and macronutrients based on an individual's requirements and goals, and set a structure around that. This approach is sometimes called flexible dieting, because you teach your client how to eat and set a structure around it, but they still have more flexibility around food choice. This was popularized by some of the earliest coaches in the nutrition space, like Dr. Joe Klemczewski, Alan Aragon, and Lyle McDonald. It's grown in popularity because it's very effective, educational, and very coachable. As a coach, you're gonna need to be able to give suggestions based on what you're seeing. The more prescriptive you are, the more you can measure and assess, are they actually sticking to what I'm saying? Now keep in mind, there are other ways to be prescriptive about what a person eats without it being objective or giving an exact meal plan. A few approaches that come to mind are the vertical diet by Stan Efferding, or Greg Doucette's circle diet, which is more of a meal option approach. Either way, the recommendations given still manage those big picture variables for nutrition, like energy balance and macronutrients, instead of prescribing them directly. Now, new nutrition coaches don't always have to be super prescriptive. There are other ways to coach, some being less prescriptive. So let's talk about those. There are many ways to coach that aren't so number heavy or even rule based, and they're more like guidelines. One such way is the habit-based approach popularized by companies like Precision Nutrition, focusing more on behavioral change. This type of approach focuses just as much on how you eat compared to what you eat. This is sometimes referred to as mindful eating practices, which is getting closer to the signals and feelings your body goes through as you eat or are preparing to eat. We're talking fullness and appetite and satiety, and the complex and cultural implications of eating with other people or even eating while distracted. This all plays into how people eat and how they make nutritional decisions. Now, one approach to nutrition coaching that is growing in popularity that I'm seeing more and more nutrition coaches employ is intuitive eating. Again, focusing on eating in response to hunger and satisfaction cues without the intent to change body weight or body composition at all. If we think about these coaching approaches on a spectrum, on one side we have more specific and restrictive, like meal plans and rule-based diets. And as we get closer to the middle, we have a bit more flexibility, like flexible dieting. And on the other side, we have more freedom with more guidelines, but it becomes less prescriptive and somewhat vague, which can also be intentional. The most successful nutrition coaches from both a business and client satisfaction standpoint will pick and develop a specific nutrition coaching approach and coach the majority of their clients that way, attracting new clients that would be a good fit for their coaching style. Now, there are other schools of thought when it comes to nutrition coaching. One that comes to mind is more holistic or alternative nutrition coaching, and emphasizing looking at the whole person, both their health, body, and mind as they're being coached. Now, here's the deal. At the end of the day, nutrition coaching is a results-based business. People pay coaches to help them achieve a specific result, which leads us to our next point. How do you actually get results? Let's talk about how nutrition coaching is actually delivered. As I said before, what separates nutrition coaching from other nutrition services is the delivery. And this is actually nutrition coaching's superpower, because it's the perfect blend of a service that people want because they see the value, i.e. the results. It can be really cost effective, as well as it cuts through all the fluff with an effective and streamlined delivery. And that's the business trifecta. It's what people want at a price that they're willing to pay for through a service which they actually enjoy. But let's stick on that last part for a second. This just isn't an expert expert telling someone everything that they need to know. It's delivering key nutrition information that a client can apply, stick to, and ultimately get a result. And that's what coaching is all about. The first day of soccer practice, your coach doesn't give you the entire history of soccer. You do a few drills, you start playing, and you address the rest later. How this looks in nutrition coaching is like this. Start with an assessment that shows a client what is holding them back from reaching their goals. Set them up on an initial plan based on what needs to happen to get a result. And then the coaching is carried out through future correspondence with adjustments and tracking of progress. Typically what happens next is the weekly check-in process. Every 7 days on a pre-scheduled day. For example, the client is on Monday check-ins. The coach will collect some predetermined data, like a body weight average from multiple days, ideally collected at the same time under similar conditions, so that the coach can assess body weight trends, but also any other performance metrics from the gym or their sport, and some subjective feedback on hunger and energy levels and how they slept, usually using sliding scales like 1 to 5 or rating things from 1 to 10, so these things can be assessed week to week. All of this information allows the coach to track progress and feedback on how the client is doing, but it also allows them to measure adherence or how well the client is sticking to things. And from there, adjustments can be made to the plan. This can be changes to food levels, meaning taking food away or adding food in, both from a calorie and macronutrient perspective, but also from food options and choices. But most of the time, coaches aren't going to be making these type of changes frequently because they need to give it enough time to see true progress. But what happens more frequently is the coach is going to be making suggestions to improve adherence and allow the client to stick to the plan better or remove barriers to success. And this is the art of coaching, getting a client to stick to things and motivating them to take action in bite-sized steps. Usually this feedback will be returned within 24 hours of the check-in being submitted, most of the time electronically, so the client doesn't actually have to meet with the coach. The client and the coach will go back and forth a few times to clarify the plan and then leave it at that. I actually created a check-in process that does all of this within 5 minutes. It gets better results for my clients in a quarter of the time, and my clients absolutely love the service. If you want a completely free training on the hybrid check-in process, check out the description below and you'll see a completely free training where you can access it. But back to the video for now. This week time frame is the sweet spot for success. It gives enough time for the client to actually try out the plan and assess if it's working, and not too much time between check-ins to stay close enough to the process. Now this check-in process repeats itself week after week. Now how long would someone work with a nutrition coach? And in an ideal world, this would happen until the goal was achieved. So obviously timelines would vary depending on what a client wants to do, as well as take enough time to set up a longer term maintenance plan afterward, like raising food levels to maintenance, for example. Additionally, there's no reason why the client can't set new goals and continue to work with the coach. This isn't always you reach your goal, now get out of here. Keep in mind, one of the main reasons why this works is accountability. And some people will need and want that long term. Now this type of service delivery is what helps a nutrition coach get results, make money, and stand apart from the rest of the field. Speaking of making money, let's talk about that for a second to round out this entire discussion. Most nutrition coaches will sell their services at a monthly rate. The average rate for a nutrition coach is $150 to $200 per month for a new or beginner coach, $200 to $350 for an experienced coach, and roughly $350 to $600 per month for a specialized high-ticket coach. These are averages though, and price can be very subjective. Additionally, many coaches will sell their services in time frame packages. Let's say 3, 6, and even 12 months when the client pays in full for a discount. Typically, this type of commitment is necessary for long-term change anyway, because meaningful progress doesn't happen in just 1 month. And that's how much nutrition coaching typically costs the client. Let's talk briefly where nutrition coaches actually find their client. For the most part, nutrition coaching is performed online, meaning coaches can work with clients outside of their geographical area. So most coaches will leverage digital platforms like social media and their own website to promote their coaching. When done properly, this gets potential clients interested in the service, where they can have some type of sales conversation to see if the coaching is a good fit. But there's also tons of traction with word of mouth marketing or referrals. Clients achieve great results or get a remarkable service and they want to talk about it to their friends and family. This is strengthened when the coaches use testimonial content like traditional before and after pictures and even client feedback to showcase these results. Now I've spent the last 12 years doing nutrition coaching and teaching others to do the same. So I hope this video helped you learn more about nutrition coaching and why it's the fastest growing job in health and fitness. Now, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'll have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. Today I broke down the big components of nutrition coaching, but if you really want to excel, you got to get better at nutrition coaching check-ins, which I'm going to detail right here. So I'll see you in the next video.